Hi there, my name is Mark Carlson. I am a spiritual life coach, so I coach people privately over Skype, and I coach in a way that helps the person to discover themselves and change from the inside, because the outside is always a reflection of the inside. And today's talk is about how to manifest from the inside. So let me start. I've just got my mind map in front of me. So what are we made of? The first thing we've got to look at is, what am I made of, right? So you think about it. Have you ever thought about why you're here? What did you come here for? You know, what's the whole point of being a human being? Is it just to be born and then do life and have kids and make some money and then finish? I think the real process that we're here, I think the real reason that we're here is to discover the process of beginning and ending, because we're in a third dimensional reality, right? So that's why we have beginnings and endings everywhere. We're born and we die. We go through the process of life, and we get to discover ourselves by looking at how things happen from start to finish. We're the main thing that starts and finishes, but we're also looking all the time at what starts and what finishes in life, right? That's what we're doing. We're discovering what happens when something is born until its completion. Now, the process of manifestation, including yourself, is from the beginning to the end, right? That's the process of manifestation. So you're here to discover yourself in a third dimensional reality where things begin and end, because who you really are is a consciousness that knows itself as love and is eternal. And there's a part of you inside that's always that. It's never not that. It's inside all of the time. And that's the part that drives you forward to make life better, because it knows itself as love. Now, as you personally develop yourself, you get to know yourself as love. Right? The part of you that is always there eternally gets stronger and stronger. And one of the things that we must learn to do while we're here in this physical reality is to learn how to manifest in the world, right? So let's look at why we're here. We're here to learn that process, right? We're here to learn the process of start to end, and we're here to have the incredible adventure of third dimensional reality, trapped inside a bodysuit, believing that we're separate from everything. Now, in this reality, life gets easier when you understand yourself and when you're able to then manifest the things that are in alignment with your heart. And this is a really key point. So to really get what you want, you've got to discover what your heart wants. Now, you might have to get it wrong first a few times. You might have to go through the process of manifestation many times. Hygiene. You might have to go through the process of manifestation many times to find out what you really want. But start at the beginning. Start by saying, okay, this is what I'd like, so let's have that process. So it's this way. We're in a physical dimension. We're in a material world, and life is easier if you are able to manifest with ease, including money, including things, including loving relationships, more harmonious dynamics between you and the outer world, right? You've got to agree with that, right? Because you're the only thing happening. There's nothing else going on as far as you know. You're the center of everything. You are the only thing that life is. Now, there's lots of us having that experience, which makes it look real, but you're the only thing that you know of as life. So obviously, if you're the only thing that you know of as life, you want to make everything that you know about life as harmonious and as easy as you possibly can. Now, to make it an adventure, before you come here, you drop certain insecurities inside of yourself, and you do that on purpose, because those insecurities are the real reason why those insecurities are the driving force to get you to look. You see, if you didn't have an insecurity inside of you, you wouldn't do any work to personally develop yourself. So the insecurity is a guiding angel, right? There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's all a divine setup. So you're here purposefully to understand yourself in the physical realm, to stay connected to the divine, but also to be grounded. And it's very important that you understand the process of manifestation. So the thing that you need to manifest the most is the exact area that's not working. So look at the thing that's not working in your life, and that's the exact area that you need to manifest. Okay, and that's the exact place that you need to manifest from. Okay, because that's the area your guidance system is saying to you right now, that's not working, and so I want you to look at it. So if you don't have any money in your life, that's what you need to manifest. If you're struggling in relationship, that's what you need to manifest. If you can't get the right job, that's what you need to manifest. If you don't know what you want, that's what you need to look at and then manifest, right? So I'm going to give you some real tools today that you can use so that you can absolutely create a much better existence for yourself. Now, if you ask anybody that's ever done anything that's great, anybody at all, right? They'll tell you, anybody who's mastered anything, they'll tell you that the most important thing that you've got to do is do it every single day. So what I'm going to share with you today, later on in this call, I'm going to share with you what you need to do every single day. It's not difficult, but you've got to learn to grab hold of the back of your head and pull yourself up every morning or whenever you do it, and make sure you do it. And I'll tell you why in a minute. So, okay, as I said, there's nothing at all wrong with you. Everything's perfect. If something's not working in your life, it's the best system. It's the best way your guidance system is using you to turn your attention to what's not working so that you'll do the work and manifest, okay? So look, the process of manifestation is, I'm making these percentages up, but I just want to get the point over, okay? So the process, 5% what you say. So let's say you want more money. It's a very, very common request, right? So we'll use money. So you can say over and over till the cows come home, I want more, I have more money, because when you're creating, you've got to imagine that you already have it. So I have more money, or I have $1 million, or even I have $10,000, whatever it is that you need. I have. You can say that till the cows come home, but it's only a 5% process of the manifestation process. Now, 15% is what you visualize. So when you visualize, that's what you see. Now, some people say to me they can't visualize. So what I want you to do right now is, just in this moment, think about the door that you walk in and out of your house from. Think about the handle. Think about yourself putting it in the key. Now, as you're looking at me, you can see that whole reality, right? You can visualize. You just did it. So when you're visualizing, it's a bit more difficult when you're visualizing something that's not actually real yet, but you can visualize. And it doesn't matter if you can see it if you can or cannot see it as clearly as you can see your door handle. It doesn't matter, right? But what you've got to realize is that there's 15% is visualization. And then a whopping 80% is feelings, right? So your feeling level is what is causing reality. Because think about what you are. Science has already told us. Sorry, I got a phone call. Stop that. Sorry. Science has already told us that everything is vibrational. Everything. So if you were to take a piece of these glasses and take it to the smallest observable particle, and a piece of my hair and a piece of wood and a piece of the air, and take it to the smallest particle, it's the same stuff. It's just all vibrating at a different frequency. That's why we have solids as solids and air as not solid. So we are a vibrational frequency, and everything that shows up in the outer world is an absolute reflection of your inside world, an absolute reflection. You are unbelievably more powerful than you think you are. Unbelievably. You've really got to get hold of this. You are outstandingly more powerful than you think you are. You see, you've been trained, your tribe that you were born into has trained you to be accepted by the tribe. And that is such a small limitation of who you really are. But because it's been trained, and you have to live it because you live in your tribe. So I've been trained to be English. I know exactly how to do it. And you've been trained to be whichever tribe you were born into. It doesn't matter. The fact is, we're trained to fit into the tribe so that we'll be accepted by the tribe. And it's a huge limitation. So as you mature, you get to a point where you can basically say that to the tribe, not in an offensive way, but you're just respecting self and saying, I need to honor myself. I need to be who I am and do what I need to do to find heart, right? But the thing is, you're vibrating in alignment with what the tribe says is right and wrong. Now, you've got the general tribe of England, in my case, and then there's the northeast of England, in my case, that I'm in that tribe, and then there's my family. So all of the patterns and behaviors and beliefs that go on in my family about what's right and wrong were given to me. Now, without me realizing, I then, because of that vibration, because I've taken that on as true, so my entire system is vibrating in a particular way that then makes that real in the outside. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's what happens. It's all dependent on what I've taken on as true. But the great thing about that is, you see, if it's limited purposefully. I have an addictive personality, so I've worked with healing my addictions. Without that addiction, I wouldn't have been a healer. Now, if I'd have made loads of money when I was young, I'd have killed myself. So being poor was the greatest thing. I would have killed myself because I couldn't control myself, So what a gift the addiction was, and what a gift not having any money was for me at that time, because I just wasn't mature enough to deal with it. And it took me on the right path. So the psyche plays you. Now, that doesn't mean to say that I didn't have to do work. I did have to do work to get on this path. I had to overcome limits and transform things, which is what I'm going to share with you today, how to do that. But it's all a divine setup to get you to be able to manifest well. The process of manifestation is so incredibly powerful and important for your life, because in the process of manifesting, you'll discover yourself, which is what the soul really wants, as opposed to the soul, meaning the part of you that knows itself as love. That's what it really wants. It doesn't care how much money you make or not. What it cares about is that you understand yourself well enough to know how to manifest in the outer world reality. You follow me there? You can't really tell me, but anyway. So you are a vibrational energy, and you can tell the beliefs that you're holding by simply looking at, what do I actually have in my outer world reality? What's actually showing up for me? Because that tells me who I am. Now, I can blame, but I won't get anywhere if I blame. Because if I blame, I'm essentially saying that I'm okay, even though I have no money, or even though my relationship's screwed, or even though my boss hates me, or whatever it is. If I stay in my righteousness and say that stuff's happening and it's nothing to do with me, then I can't grow. So what I've got to do is recognize that my inside world is causing the outside world. So, and recognize that I'm incredibly powerful. It's just that most of it's in the unconscious. And here's the other great thing about learning to manifest. You're going to bring unconscious material conscious. So you're going to come wider about what you realize life is. You become much more aware around what you realize life is. Okay? So let me just check my notes. So the feeling part of you is creating all of that stuff out there. And your unconscious, if it's not working, if there's areas that are not working, that's your unconscious's way of saying, please come inside and have a look at what I've got to tell you, right? So anything that's not working, because you just wouldn't look, right? If it was working, there's no way you'd go inside and discover yourself, because it'd be all hunky-dory. So it's a divine conspiracy to get you to look. It's saying, please look inside, because when you heal this particular area, the area that's not working, you will find hidden talents and greatness that you would never have found without the insecurity. So the first thing, give thanks to the areas that are not working. Give thanks to your limitations. They are your greatest guidance system. Okay, so you're going to have a constant barometer as to whether this is working or not. Where as you go through the process of learning to manifest in life, you're going to have a constant barometer. The barometer is going to be the outside world, and it will tell you over and over again if it's working or not. If you start making more money, then it's working. If you're trying to make more money, then it's working, right? If you don't make more money, then it's not working yet. If that's the case and you don't make more money yet, then you say, oh, okay, let's go a bit further, got a bit more to do, right? And that's the case. You've just got a bit more to do. Never, ever criticize yourself. Look, remember, you're the only thing going on. So if you're the only thing going on, right now, you're looking at those of you that are here, you're looking at this computer right now, and you're seeing and experiencing me via the computer. Now, even though I do exist, your experience of me is inside your head. And even if I were to be stood right in front of you and shaking your hand, that experience would be right inside your head. There's nothing that you know of that's happening outside of you. Nothing. Not one thing in your entire life happens outside of you. The whole thing is happening inside of you. So if you're having a fight with anyone or a critical thought about anything, that's happening inside of you. If you're standing righteously about one thing and hating the other thing on the other side, like politics, which is what the mind's all made of, then that energy of hate, even if you think you're absolutely right, the pain of it is being experienced inside of you. And that causes you to manifest or not. Do you understand that? So any fight you've got on anywhere with anything, you need to infuse it with love. You need to get to forgiveness and infuse it with love, because the best way to manifest is via love, the heart center. I'm going to show you from how to manifest in a while from the heart center, because we manifest from love. So if you've got a fight going on with anyone, you need to heal that first, so that your vibrational system increases, so that the loveliness starts to show up in the outside. Okay? So the point of that particular point was that you are a vibrational mix, right? You are an absolute vibration that is creating everything that's coming at you. Everything. Always. Okay? So next point. What happens inside that stops us creating change? So there's 50 to 7 every single day. You think between 50 and 70,000 thoughts. And here's the thing: about 90% of them happened. You thought yesterday. 90%. That's probably more. So 90% of the thoughts you think today, you thought yesterday. What do you think happens when you think the same thought every day? Well, scientifically, you create neural pathways in the brain. Now, when those neural pathways get strong, like a motorway, it's very easy to do whatever you think it's saying that you should do, right? So you have certain habits that you like, and you'll do them over and over again. Now, here's the most important thing. You've got to understand this. If I've got a repetitive thought pattern going on in my mind, then at the feeling level, the feeling becomes stagnant. Excuse me. Do you understand that? So if I think the same things, if I'm thinking 90% of what I think the same every single day, so 90% of my feelings are going to stay the same every day. So 90% of my life is going to stay the same. It's not going to change. It can't change, because my feeling's the same. Now, because the feeling level is the manifester, it's the director of everything, it is actually the power center in your beingness. It's the most powerful part of you. And it's directing, once it gets stabilized, like once you're mature, once you're an adult, and the feeling level is stabilized because you've got your patterns and you do things the way you do in alignment with your personality, whether it's right or wrong, that's what you do. And once that feeling level is as stable as it is, it won't change. It's saying, I like this is the way it is and I ain't going to change. And what it then does is it makes sure that you keep thinking the same thoughts. So the feeling part of you makes sure you will not change the way you think. You keep thinking again and again and again the same thought, because the feeling level says that's what we need to think to make sure we feel the same way, because I ain't going anywhere. I like feeling this way. It's that way, right? Now, that's why when you start something new, great, I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, or, I'm going to make this, definitely going to make it happen. What happens is the feeling part of you might do it for a couple of weeks, and you get close to a breakthrough where the feeling might change, and the feeling part says, you need to sort this out. So it sends a signal to the brain, and the brain says, you've done really well. Let's just go and have a cream cake. We'll do the work tomorrow. You've done so well. And then before you know it, you've forgotten what you were doing. You've completely lost it. And that's why you can't make the change. So you've got to find a way that changes the feeling level, right? Follow me? You've got to find a way that changes the feeling level. If you can't change the feeling level, nothing is going to change. That's the truth. You can visualize forever, but if you don't change this feeling level, nothing is going to change. Nothing at all. You've got to do this. You've got to find a way of changing the feeling level, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So look, your brain doesn't know the difference between what it's seeing in the outside world or what it sees on the inside world, right? Because think about it. Right now, you're looking at the computer or your phone, and then you're in a room or you're in a particular space, right? So you're looking at that, but your brain is interpreting it in its inside, in the brain, right? Now, if you close your eyes and think about your husband, wife, children, mother, father, if you just do that, the brain doesn't know the difference, that's not actually happening, because it's still going on inside the brain. There's no difference between what it sees out there and what it sees in here. Now, the process of visualization, the whole process of manifesting, is that you've got to learn to change the inner landscape and you got to do it regularly enough so that the brain thinks it's real, so that the outside world then finally changes to follow what you're telling the inside world. Now, it's difficult at first, because if you've got no money, I'm going to use that one again. If you've got no money, for example, it's a great example, and you're looking and you've got no money to pay bills, and you're afraid, and because we're in a world that uses money. Absolutely, we've made money God, in fact, but that's another video. So, but if you don't have money, and then you try and imagine having it, it's difficult, because your outer world reality, which you're walking in, is telling you again and again and again, if you keep looking at it, you've got no money. You've got no money, you've got no money. So that's why it's difficult at first, but you've got to do the following process. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to tell you how to make things happen for you, how to do it. Okay? Let me just make sure I'm on track here. Okay, I am. So the first thing you've got to do, you've got to make a powerful decision about what it is that you want. It's absolutely imperative that you make a powerful decision about what you want. Now, if you're one of these people that doesn't know, then just use your guidance system, have a look at what's not working, and have the opposite of that to start with, right? That's easy. Like, if you've got no money, then obviously you want money, right? If you'd like love and you don't have it, then obviously you want love. Even in a relationship, if you're in a relationship but it's not harmonious and there's fighting, then obviously you want to be having that change, either with the same person or with somebody else, right? So the first thing you've got to do is make what's called a non-negotiable decision. That's a powerful decision. There's no negotiation after you've made it. You've got to remember this. You've got to really tattoo that on your head. Non-negotiable decision. That's what I'm having. It has to come. You see, the stronger you are with your conviction, the easier it is to manifest. So you've got to be absolutely strong inside when you say, I'm having that. Now, if you're coming from a place that's really, really dire, so for example, money again, that you really don't have money and you can't seem to believe that you can have it, you've got to work anyway, and you just make the goal slightly bigger, but you've got to make the most powerful decision that you can. There's a part of you inside that knows itself as love that is strong, absolutely strong. You use that part of you to make this decision. The part of you inside that knows itself as love is the part of you that's going to help you. So the first step, Make a powerful decision that that's what I'm going to have. Okay? That's the reality I'm going to have. And start with a small goal. Look, if you're making 100x a month, which isn't very much in any currency, I imagine, then, and you can't imagine how you could double, if doubling that is too much, then make it that I'm now going to make 140 a month. But it's got to be more than you think you can make, but not too much that it's overwhelming. You know, to make £1 million in your first year of doing this, if you're making £100 a month, it's probably impossible. And that all that will do is it will avert you from the work that you've got to do, because this is a process that you're going to discover yourself from via doing the work. Okay, so you make your goal big enough to be more than you've got right now. It needs to be a stretch, but small, but not too big that it frightens you. That you feel it's just impossible, that you can't believe it. So you got to believe it, but it's got to be a stretch. Okay, that's the thing. Now, the way that you're going to do it, you're going to put your hands on your heart chakra. Now, your chakras, whether you know it or not, they are real things. There are 7 major chakras in the body. I'm not going to talk a lot about them, but we have 7 major chakras in our body, and the central chakra is the heart chakra. Now, just putting your hands on the center here. For a man, you put the camera's going the opposite way of which I'm going. But for a man, you put the left hand, you put your right hand on top of your left hand. For a woman, it's the other way around. You put your left hand on top of your right hand. That's the best mudra, the easiest mudra, it's called. And so you're going to have your hands on the heart chakra. The reason this is so powerful is because the heart chakra is the center of your feeling level. And your feeling level is what creates reality for you, right? So every time you just put your hands on your heart center like this, every time you do that, you're bringing your attention to this moment. You're absolutely bringing yourself into this moment, and you're activating your feeling body. You see, you've been operating from up here your entire life. You know, you could just take your head off. Like, we're walking heads. The majority of people are walking heads. Most people are cut off from here down. Have no idea what their feelings are saying until there's an absolute catastrophe. And then they're brought directly into the feeling body, which is usually why the catastrophe happens, is to get people to come into the inside and discover who they are. So putting your hands, even if you're not going to do the manifestation process, putting your hands on the heart center like this is absolutely massively important, massively, because it will over time bring you into your heart space, into your feeling level. And when you know your feeling level well, guess what you can do regularly? You can manifest easily, because you know what things mean for you. You know what has heart for you, and therefore you can get excited about what has heart for you. And when you get excited about what has heart for you, you manifest that in this world, okay? You manifest this in the outer world reality. So the first thing you're going to do for the process, you're going to put your hands on your heart chakra. Now, I have always 3 visualizations every day. The point, I mentioned this at the beginning, you've got to do it every single day. Please make that absolutely powerful for yourself. You've got to do it every day. So what I do to get my ass to do it is I set 100-day goals. So I'm on day 96 today of one particular one. I was doing Qigong for 96 days. I've got 4 days left. I'm looking forward to the end of that one, I must admit. And I'm on day 3 of another one. And I couldn't start it for a while. It took me about a week. I kept one, day 2, because they're easy to miss. If you're at day 1 or day 2, it doesn't matter. I'll start again tomorrow. But once you get to day 10, day 20, day 30, you don't want to stop. And so it's really powerful. So I recommend that you set yourself a 100-day challenge to visualize for 15 minutes a day. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. I'm going to give you the process to bring things in for you. Okay, and I'm also going to show you how to move through blockages. So what I do is I have my hands on my heart, and I have my 3 areas that I'm working on. the 3 areas that I would like to manifest, to make life better for me. And I see them as a bubble. Now, you've got to be relaxed. So if you meditate, this would be a perfect time to do it after meditation or early in the morning when you're still sleepy, but not too sleepy that you wander off, because you've got to stay focused for the whole 5 minutes. But I'll show you how to do that as well. So hands on the heart center, you can lay back. You want to be, as relaxed as you possibly can, because it's much easier to see things. So you don't want your mind thinking about anything else. So you can say to your mind, the chattering mind, listen, dude, I'm going to visualize right now. So you can just, whatever. I'll come back to you. You can hang out. You're going to be 70,000 times going on in my head today. So you can just hang on for 15 minutes. All right. So you say that to your mind and then you relax. Hands on the heart chakra. This will help you to relax because your hands are actually on the heart chakra, right? This will help you to relax because it will bring you down from your mind to the center. And then what I do is I see a bubble that represents the thing that I'm going to manifest. And then I walk into it. I imagine that I'm actually in it. Now, to keep me focused, if I'm on my own, I'll speak it out. Now, what's important about visualization is that you've got to see it as if you have it. It can't be something that's coming, not when you're doing it. You must absolutely see it as if you have it right now. It's absolutely imperative that you see it as if it's happening now. So the brain thinks it's happening now, right? So it's very important that you walk in it as if you've got it right now. So I say it out loud. I walk myself through the scenario just to keep me focused. Then I'll let my mind go into it. But then if I wander, I'll bring my mind back and I'll start speaking it again. And I'll say it to get myself excited. So here's the very, very, very number one important part of visualizing. If you do all of this, but you're not excited about it, it won't change. Why? I've already told you, right? The feeling level is what causes the outside stuff to come at you. So you've got to absolutely get excited. It's so important, this part. If you don't get this part, it won't work. You've got to write this down. I must have an excited emotion. So what I do is I'll say, get in, or something like that. When I'll say it out loud, like I get myself excited. I imagine I've just got it and I've attained it. And I'm like, yes. And I do that to get the emotion up. And then as much detail as possible, I put into it. So the people that I'm telling, everything that's going on because of it. If it's money, you're looking at your bank balance. If it's a new car, you're driving it, you're smelling the leather. You're in a relationship, you're feeling the love, you're telling the world, whatever it is, as much detail as you possibly can. Smells, use your 5 senses. I'm getting excited, look. I've got myself excited about talking the excited bit. But you get excited, you got to do the excited bit, but use your 5 senses. What are you seeing? What can you hear in a vision? What are you tasting, smelling, touching, feeling? What's going on for you when you've manifested that? But you're in the bubble and you've got exactly what it is with a very, very excited feeling. This is the most important part. You've got to get excited in it. Now, I set a timer. So I do a healing on myself every single morning. That's a given for me. And after the healing, I go into my visualization and I'll set a timer. And my phone now, it's got a great thing. It says repeat. After 5 minutes, I can just press repeat and bang, it'll do another 5 minutes. So I do 3 of them. I do the most immediate thing that I want in the next month or two, that thing that I'm working on. So, and then I do the thing that I'd like over the next 6 months. And then I do the thing that I'd like in 3 years, or a bigger vision, a real big vision for myself. And I get excited about the whole thing. Okay, so let me just check that I've got that. Yeah, 5-minute blocks, 100-day challenge. Oh yeah, here's the other thing. Now you put, when you've got your hands on your heart chakra like this, so you've got, you're in your bubble. You've got your hands on your heart chakra, you're in your bubble. Now, when you visualize it, imagine that you're seeing it all in your aura. So the bubble is around you. Because what they've scientifically proven is that the field around us, The vibration of the field around us is the thing that manifests the outside world. So you've got to change the field, including health, by the way. If you've got health problems, then you want to be visualizing yourself as healthy in any area. But you put the vision and you put the thought and the feeling into the field around you, okay? You've got to go into the field around you. That's very important with the excited emotion. If I can tell you anything today, it's got to be that you've got an excited emotion going on for the visualization. Okay, let me just check if I'm... Most important, I've written here, excited. Oh, here's another thing. Here's another thing that I feel. Now, some people, I've heard Anthony Robbins talk about goals. Greatest respect for him, by the way, just not my way. I've heard about Anthony Robbins. I've heard about him. I've heard him saying, you know, when you set a goal, publicize it and tell everyone it's going to be on that date. It is important that you put dates on it as well. It does important because it gets you excited. That's going to happen by that date. But that's not the most important thing for me. I don't tell a soul. Nobody knows what my goals are. Nobody. And I'll tell you why. Because every day I build that energy stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger inside of me. So that as the energy builds, the outside starts to manifest. Now things will start to pop and you'll get more excited as you do it. Now look, if you've gone 21 days and nothing's happened, what have you got to do? Next day, grab hold of the back of your head, get back up and do it again, because every single person is different. We've all got a different personality type. Now, as you're doing the process, you might discover that's actually not what I want. That's great, right? If you discover that, it's great because you've discovered something about yourself. You might have said that you wanted to go for that, and then you go along and think, actually, that's not what I want. What is it that I want? And then you look and you might discover something better as you go along the process, but the outer world will start manifesting. It'll start shining for you. It'll start shining back because you're building an energy. And as you build the energy inside, you'll start to trust things. You'll start to trust that it's starting to work and you'll feel great. And every day you feel great because you know it's yours. The moment you make the decision, it's actually yours. But because we're in third dimensional reality with time and space, it will take some time. But never before has time been so quick. You know, the Mayans said that they do that. When you look at the Mayan calendar, they look at the certain points in time where there was a massive transformation in human consciousness. And they can even see that, you know, when the agricultural age came, when the industrial age came, now the information age. And what was happening, the time between these transformations, as consciousness heightened, the time between these transformations is very small. Now it's happening. The last I heard, I think it's happening every 12 days now. So there's a shift in consciousness every 12 days. What that means is the time it takes to manifest is way quicker. So be careful what you're thinking. That's why becoming aware of yourself, becoming personally developing yourself is absolutely imperative. Because if you don't know who you are, your unconscious is just playing out thoughts. Negative stuff will manifest, and it'll manifest quickly now. So this is an exciting time to be alive, and it's a very exciting time if you know how to manifest, if you know the process, which I'm telling you right now, to build that energy, build it, get it stronger, because you'll get more excited as you do it. Now, will you have some down days? Of course you will. Of course you will. But you're going to put yourself on a 100-day challenge. Right? Give me a thumbs up if you're going to do that. You're going to put yourself on a 100-day challenge, because I promise you, you'll manifest if you're on a 100-day challenge. You'll manifest. There's no doubt about it. So if you have some down days, don't worry about it. Just do it again. Just keep doing it. You've got to keep doing it. It has to be a daily yes. It's got to be a daily yes. Thank God, all the thumbs there. Well done. It's got to be a daily yes. That's exactly what has to happen, okay? So you're going to do it daily. Maximum of 3 bubbles, right? Maximum of 3 bubbles. The bubbles are what you're putting yourself in. You've got to get an excited feeling. You must get an excited feeling for the whole thing. That's absolutely imperative, okay? And anything else I've got to tell you? Right, here's the other thing. The last thing before we go on, the last thing to do for the whole process, the last thing to do Affirmations. Now, think about the most important. What I do is I use my affirmation for the most immediate goal. That's what I use my affirmation for. The most immediate goal. And I say every day in every way I da-da-da-da-da-da. Every day in every way I make da-da-da-da-da happen. Right? So every day in every way I make more and more money in every way. Every day in every way I make more and more money. But it's going to be defined for you. That's not what I'm saying. But every day in every way I make this happen. Right? That's what you're saying over and over. Now, why do you want to do that? Because it keeps your system. Look, you have a system, a vibrational system here that is energy. Now, what you focus on will become reality. So what you're training yourself to do right now is to focus on things that make reality great for you. Now, you've got beliefs inside of you that don't make things great for you. That's why you experience the stuff that doesn't work for you, right? So that's why you've got to break through this pattern. So don't listen to that stuff. You keep coming back to your daily practice and you affirm as whenever you remember. So I don't do it all day. I can't do it all day. But if I'm in my car driving, if I'm in a queue especially, but the moment I remember, I start affirming every day in every way. I da-da-da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da-da. And I get focused on the thing that I want, and it brings the vision back, and I get excited, and I'll say to myself, yes, it's mine. It's absolutely mine. Okay? And the other thing that will happen, look, when you're visualizing like this every day, when you're training your brain to create a new reality, see, you've got to create the new reality inside as real before it happens outside, right? You've got to train your brain to believe wholeheartedly that this reality is real, the new one, and then it will happen outside. It will absolutely happen outside, promise you. So when you're doing this every day and when you're affirming every day, you'll get inspired thought. You have to, because your brain knows, well, for that to happen, I need to absolutely make sure that this stuff, that he meets that person, or that door opens, or that this avenue opens. The brain will do it for you. Now, here's another point that I've forgotten to say. Let me just check my notes. Get excited about it. Oh, yeah. Do never, ever, 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 ever in your visualization think about how you're going to get it. That will screw the whole thing up. You cannot think about how. Do you have to take action? Absolutely. But you'll take the action that you know you can take right now. Don't think about how, because your mind will say, it will convince you eventually. If you keep thinking about the how will get so big that it'll convince you, it'll persuade you that you can't have. What will happen is the how will get so big, and your big vision that you started with will become really small, and eventually the how will take over and you'll drop it. And you must not do that. So do not think how, just see and feel the end result as if you've got it, okay? And yeah, you've got to take action, of course, but you will get inspired thought. You really will get inspired thought. That's about it, guys. Just before I go, I have a retreat in Chiang Mai. I live in the north of Thailand in Chiang Mai. I have a retreat called the Inner Work. It's 4 nights in a glorious resort. I'm going to put the link underneath this. And, you know, inner work is vitally important, because to change the outside, we change the inside. So this is an intense workshop called Inner Work, where we'll be doing lots of healing to make transformations. If you've got the time and the inspiration and the means, then I would love to see you. You can PM me for about that. Also, I am a life coach. I'm a spiritual life coach. I coach people over Skype regularly. If you're interested in working with me directly, you can do that. I'll also put that link there. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please make some comments. If you want to know anything that I haven't covered, or you're stuck on anything, then please make some comments. And I wish you an absolutely great day. Thank you so much.